Well, yes, Halloween has been out by the grace of God. It is cold, icy out, leftover snow, more extreme weather on its way. God made a way. Well, I put up a post just a few minutes ago. Nacho cheese, naturally flavored tortilla chips, gluten-free, Kroger brand. Chips are chips, right? Naturally, artificially flavored. Well, I decided to put up a post trying to see if I can get a Cash App to ship these potato chips to Gloversville, New York. I don't know. You think they'll make it by Saturday, maybe? I don't know. Since everybody's a scammer, well, I need some money to send these to Gloversville, New York. $DeGanji 129 Cash App. And I will not be showing the Cash App. They're all scammers. Everybody's a scammer. They're all scammers. Jesus, help me. They're all liars. Everybody's a liar. Let's go back to the 1970s. They're all going to laugh at you. 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 I need $5. Help me, somebody. I need some money. It's cold. Damn it. Wait a minute. Hold on. You can't have chips without a drink. Damn it, Angela. Let's see what we can find in here. Oh, the grocery store trip was so kind. Thank you. Let's see. How about this? Hold on. What did I tell you about saying you're hungry? What comes after being hungry? I'm just curious. I'm thirsty. What did I tell you about needing something to eat? You can eat something, and at some point you're going to get hungry. Thirsty, I mean. You're hungry and then you're thirsty. So what is more refreshing than a nice Sprite? Please recycle. Look what else I found. Minute Maid strawberry lemonade. Oh, now that would go good with some nice vodka. Shut your mouth. Oh my goodness. I don't think you can send Minute Maid in the mail. What do you think? I don't know. Help me understand. No Doritos. Could have bought Doritos, but I didn't. So I need a Cash App right now. I need a Cash App to send this stuff to Gloversville, New York. That's what I need. Why not? Everybody's a scammer. So here I am, grifting from my kitchen. Now, what you have to decide is if I'm going to send this to New York or not. Oh, yes, scissors. I'm with you. I need a whole new vehicle my damn self. Me and vehicles, we don't get along well. Yes. Major money for my automobile dilemmas and heating costs and Oh my goodness, the list just goes on and on. Hey, I could use some new pairs of underwear. Hell, why not? We'll just store it all out there. Nothing like having a nice change pair of undergarments. I have spares, of course, but hey, why not? Why not just store it all out there? What else do I think I could use around this camp? We've got silverware. Got that little coffee maker. Purchased that. What else could I use? Oh my goodness, looks delicious. Yes, you need birthday cash? I need some birthday cash too. My birthday's coming up. You think I can get a cash app? January 29th. My birthday's coming up. I need a $5 footlong. They're all scammers. They're all scammers. Oh my God, they're all scammers. Yes, yes. Everybody on here is a scammer. When you pretend to care about people and you're walking around with your iPhone, making a fool out of yourself, putting on hats that say media and pretending to be engrossed into the commentary. Some would say that's scamming, but who am I? I'm not one to gossip. That would be a terrible thing to say. Oh, give me a break. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Larissa. Thank you. $5, $2, whatever you can send. I'm going to ship these to Gloversville. I don't know where to send them. I don't know where to send the chips. I don't think it's going to be enough for all those people in the house, but they can divide it up, put it in coffee filters, and ration like they do in Russia. You know? Hey, people in Russia probably want some knockoff Doritos. Why not? Sprite, Minute Maid. Oh, let me put this up. We wouldn't want this to spoil. God forbid. Nothing like a refreshing drink. Oh, that looks delicious, does it not? Mercy. Wonder how many of these they would need at their house in Gloversville. What do you think? 6 come in a container. They got a lot of people at their house, I'm thinking. These would probably go in one sitting. What do you think? Everybody drinks a Sprite. The kids probably don't drink all of them, make a mess, slobber all over the bottle, and there's a whole damn Sprite gone. Yeah, something like that. Hey, everybody, thank you for joining me. Hello, AB. Oh, my goodness. And let me tell you something. If you only sent me $1, I would not be offended. I would not be offended. I wouldn't be offended. Mr. Pussyfoot, would you be offended with these nacho cheese knockoff brand from Kroger? I mean, chips are chips, right? Doesn't matter if they're name brand or not, unless you just have to have Doritos. This is just my mild attempt at humor. Hold on one second, everybody. Let me put this stuff up. Let's get down to business. Hello, AB. Thank you for joining me. Let's talk about the new hustle of the hour. Okay. Candace. I don't know. Do I want to talk about Candace first or Gypsy Rose? Let's see. Got my hair pulled back. Don't pay me no mind. Got this bright lipstick on for you all. Try to look cute. Hello, everybody. Hello. Thank you, hippie. I had to pull my hair back. I was running around tonight, and whew, honey, that grocery store, you would think they didn't even have lunch meat. They had bought all of that. I was just like, what is going on? Seriously. I don't like this lipstick on. She's a little, I thought I put some lip gloss to kind of fade it out a little bit. Let me see. Hold on a second. She's a little too bright. Candace, Can, has appealed to having a birthday memorial for her daughter, Summer Wells, and it will be at a church. She's put a post up, and I'm trying to figure out why. Why? Now, the church who has obliged her, that's a noble thing to do. They want to celebrate the child's birthday, celebrate life. But the interesting part of that is that we don't know where she is. So since the topic of the week has been scammers are us, grifters are us, I thought it was only befitting once I saw the post to talk about that. Could that be a form of scamming? I found this church to me. They want to celebrate my baby's birthday, 8th birthday. Could that be a form of scamming or grifting or pimping? I don't know. Help me understand. Exactly why. What she needs to do is tell the truth. That's the best thing ever for her birthday. Exactly. When I saw the post earlier, that's after I did the live, and I was like, Candace, really? Well, why are you doing this? My fear is the obvious. I do not want people going to the church, disturbing the church, filming at the church, watching the people come in, watching the people leave, going and sitting in the service, probably have their phones recording. I don't know why she would do this. That's why I'm kind of pissed off, because I believe that is what's going to happen. It's going to be another service, and these people should know better than to entertain it. They have to know what's been said via YouTube. There's no way I'm going to believe this area church has no idea of the shenanigans that has gone on with the church where she and Don were attending. People going in there filming, going up to the church, trying to talk to the people in the church. Naturally, they've declined to talk to any YouTubers or give out any personal information, which is the right thing to do. So why would you now go to another church, I believe it's a Baptist church. Changing religion. Holyfield. Holyfield, wait a minute. Holyfield. We got Holyfield Tyson. I'm like, you done changed churches? You done went from that church you went to? So you changing religions too? Shut your mouth. Let me see what y'all talking about down there. Don't mind the gray, honey. Queen's aging. Bad enough this case turned into a yes. Yes, exactly, Random. Exactly. And that's my point. With all that has gone on, 2.5 years, plus all this shenanigans with this lady in Kingsport, all the nonsense with New York, it's a bad idea. Pass around that collection plate, will you? Yeah. Thank you, Mari. Thank you. Yeah, hair pull. Pull back a little bit. It's looking crazy because I had my hat on. I left my hat in the buggy at the store, my toboggan, because I thought I had it with me. I remember sitting it down. I pulled it off because it was hot. I was hot because I had on so many layers of clothes. So I left my old gray toboggan. That's okay. I've got some more, I got some more toboggans. And then that was a heavier one. So I like the lighter weight toboggans, but I like gray, as you see. Gray is one of my other favorite colors. So, Candace, I don't know what you're up to. I don't know what you and your husband are up to, but you know you're wrong for this. I commend the church. Let me make myself clear during this stream. I commend the church for wanting to acknowledge the child's birthday, because I don't want anyone saying, you know, oh, you shouldn't be saying anything about the church. Not talking about the church per se. I commend they want to honor the child's birthday. That's not the problem. The problem is what comes with the parents. The parents stay on social media. She now has her own YouTube, streaming, whatever. And you have now put on blast the name of this church and that they're going to be holding, a birthday, honoring her birthday. I don't agree with this. I do not. Thank you, Larissa. Why would she celebrate her missing child's birthday? Money, sympathy. Yeah. What is going on with Summer's birthday? Yeah. She's put up a post, Candace Bly, to have some type of birthday honor for the child at a church in February. And this is bad. Somebody says, I wonder what the uppers think of Baptist church. Lord, the LDS church says they all going to hell. Well, we going to hell. Us Baptists going to hell. Well, and we'll be eating knockoff Doritos on our way down there. We will be eating these on our way. Us Baptists, we're going to be eating these on our way. I need some money. I told you. I'm trying to send these to Gloversville, New York. I need a cash app. So send me some damn money so I can send this to Gloversville. Wait a minute. 2 for 2. They got to share. All those people in that house got to share both of these bags of chips. They're all scammers. They're all scammers. They're all scammers. They're all liars. Oh my God! Oh, they're grifters! Oh my God! They're scammers! They're all liars! Just like, get a grip! Jesus Christ! Calm the fuck down. Damn. Okay. Compose yourself. Ah! They're all scammers! What the fuck is wrong? You're a scammer! You're a scammer! Get out of my chat! What the fuck is wrong with you people? Ah! Ah! They're scammers! Get out of my chat! Get out of my chat! Don't send them any money! Don't send them any money! Calm down. Just calm down. It's going to be okay. Did you send your cookies? So what? I don't have any some cookies. He ain't sent me no cookies. No, but serious. It's just so interesting that the topic of the week is grift, 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 grift. And then here comes this post from Candace about celebrating the daughter's birthday at this church. And I'm just like, I just said that yesterday. What else could go wrong? That's exactly what I said. What else could pop off in the next day? And she puts up this damn post about celebrating the child's birthday at a Baptist church. I'm a Baptist. Grew up Catholic, but grandparents were Baptist. I'm just like, this ain't good. Candace, you know better. I don't know why you just won't stop this charade. You and your husband, y'all just keep going on and on and on. When are you going to stop this nonsense? I mean, damn, you just going to go all out with it. You just say, well, the hell, I don't care. I don't care. You got your Kurt Franklin in the background while you and your friend riding, or whoever was riding in the car with you, y'all riding, talking, you stopping at the Get and Go, getting you some pickles, some drinks. You got Kurt Franklin in the background, you know, singing and everything. And now here comes this. So I guess you know where in hell is the church black? Is it a black church? Is it a black church? Candace, I'm curious. What you said them cookies not? What cookies y'all talking about? What cookies y'all talking about? What cookies y'all talking about? I'm just like, it just don't stop. It just goes on and on with these people. We done went from I can't. I'm going to say this to the viewing audience. Please do not bother that church. Do not bother that church. If I hear one YouTuber carries their you know what to that church, oh, you know I'm going to blast you. I have tried my best to stay out of all of that he said, she said, YouTuber nonsense. But if I hear you went to that church, listen at me good. If I hear you went to that church, all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Because enough's enough. She want to go praise the Lord wherever. That's her choice. The church want to let her in. Welcome her. That's between them and God. But you other little dusty crumbs, y'all carry y'all tail over there to that church. Going in that church, filming that church, I'm going to put you on blast. I'm going to make sure that. I'm going to put you on blast. Because you don't play in the Lord's house. She want to play in the Lord's house, let her. That's on her. That's on her. But you all stalking the church, going outside trying to see who pull up, who going into the services and all that. Although I'm sure it's going to be welcome to the public, I would assume. And that's my fear, is that somebody is going to go and make a mockery and show out so they can make a YouTube video. Unacceptable. Yeah, there's nothing sacred. There's nothing sacred about this whole situation. And I'm telling you, I don't know what Candace is up to, but Candace, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Leave well enough alone. You've done enough damage, you and your husband. Most of us do believe you're guilty. You've done something to that baby. Now here you go. You switching up religions and churches. That's your business. But you're going to get them folks wrapped up in some drama. And maybe these people are in a fog or funk. They don't know what the hell is going on YouTube. They better wake up. Because I do not think they have any idea what they have signed themselves up for. And maybe they have. Maybe they said, well, we don't care. We hear about YouTube. We know all about what's going on in the YouTubers. And we will welcome them too with open arms. Yeah, okay. I wouldn't do that. Lord have mercy, Jesus. WJHL can finally do a dang story. Well, we'll see. Oh, I'm going to put you on blast. First YouTuber sat down on soil. First YouTuber gets down on. I got your number. Because there's a time and a place. It is time for you all to leave well enough alone. You want to talk about Summer Wells on your channel all day, cool, but don't involve the church. And that's my personal take on it. You do not ever involve the church in nasty business. You want to talk about Candace, you want to go talk to her, you want to talk to Donna Wells, all that's your business. But when you go messing with the church, hell yeah, I got a problem with you. I got a problem with you. And I'm going to bring the bang. Now come for me. I don't care nothing about none of you, no way. Because a lot of you just, as I said before, you just as fraudulent as the people you sit up and you talk about all damn day. With all this old crazy nonsense, it's at some point, some of it's got to stop. It's got to stop. You can't expect nothing from Candace, Don, these other grifters, as you all want to call them, scammers. You already know what to expect with them. That's a given. But the church people, they are taught, allegedly, to welcome everybody. So we're going to welcome everybody. We're going to let these people come in, even if we think they're chaotic, even if we think they hurt their kid, we're going to tell them to come on in anyway. We ain't worried about it. I don't recommend it. I really don't. And if I really wanted to be messy, I could be somebody that call the church and say, why are you doing this? But I'd rather let somebody else do it. You understand? I'd rather let somebody else do it. Let somebody else call the church and say, look, no harm, no foul. You're trying to do the Christian thing, the right thing, but you may be starting a circus. You may have some people coming in there. They may disrupt the service. They may do all kind of crazy nonsense because you got some people who would be bold enough to go up in the church and probably disrupt the whole service. I don't trust none of these YouTubers. I do not. I do not. You'll see. Let's see who will be on their best behavior if they decide they want to come down here to go to the services for the baby. Let's see who will behave. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Do not involve the Lord's house. Exactly. Yes. That's why I don't understand why Candace would have a service, a birthday service. If you want to have a birthday celebration for Summer at Chuck E. Cheese or at somebody's house, or that's your prerogative. But doing it at the church, now you're pushing it. Especially if you know you hurt your child. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the reality that she and the husband or whomever hurt the kid, discarded the kid, and now we get ready to go play in the Lord's house to have a birthday celebration. But what? Oh, man. Lord have mercy, Jesus. This is so bad in every way. It's like, when do you people stop doing stuff? I'm telling you, every time these people come out doing something, the first thing I think of is like a wayward child. That's what Candace, Don, New York, all of them remind me of. They remind me of wayward children. The child that won't sit down, won't mind, getting into stuff. The toddler that keeps sticking her hand in the toilet, putting stuff in the toilet, putting her hand in the socket. That's what you have with these people. Wayward children that won't mind and don't care to mind. That's exactly, Bill. Y'all so funny. That's what you have here. Wayward children that won't stop. Candace, let me talk to you for a second, honey. Can. You know what you're doing ain't right. And I know you're doing it for selfish reasons. Because my spirit tells me you are involved. If you're not involved, oh well. But that's my spirit talking to me. Husband too. Y'all got some complicity to this child's disappearance. You know, if you're involved in the disappearance of your child, that going and playing with this church is just wrong, okay? Because you know that there are people who would be trying to show you up in that church, follow you to the church, film you going into the church, and God forbid, walk into the church and be filming in the church. And I think that's probably what you want. So you can say, see, I'm trying to live right. I'm trying to live for the Lord. I'm trying to do right. And they won't even leave me alone. They done came into church and they're disrupting the service and they're filming outside. You want this because you're just like that thing in New York. That's why you wanted him to come down here and stay in your nasty house. Y'all are all alike. That is the reason why all of you have meshed together. Sadly, one of them is in ICU or passed on. I don't know what it is with Allie. I'm not here to make no claims about her. But my point is, all of you all are evenly yoked. You all saw something in each other. That's why all of you all were friends. She laid down and made a baby with that thing in New York. Oh my goodness, I want to scream. They're evenly yoked. Hello, baby. They're evenly yoked. And that's what's the problem. That is what is going on here. Everybody is intricately entwined with one another. Shenanigans. Nobody wants to throw in the towel and say, you know what? I really shouldn't be doing this. I really shouldn't be messing with these church people. I shouldn't be bringing this trouble to the church. Okay, I see these people don't like us. They think I've done something to my kid. I'm going to stay away from the church. I don't want to bring any type of, rift to the church because I want these people to still, hold me in a high regard. That's what a decent person would do. But you all won't do that. So now that church is gone. The church that you all are involved in, you either stop going or they let you know that they want you to come back or they sent some type of vibe to let you know that they want you to come back. Now here it is 2.5 years later. Y'all on some new stuff. Oh, let's find us another church. So y'all just think us Baptists, we just let anybody come into church, huh? Yeah, we do. Inmates, prisoners, thieves, liars, adulterers, because it goes on everywhere. Foolishness. People that go to church, they sin. It's just the way it is. Nobody's perfect. But if you know that you've done something to your child, you don't have no business up in that church. That's just how I feel. I don't care what church it is. Catholic, Scientology, Methodist. I don't care. And I got a bad feeling about this birthday honor. I don't agree with it at all. Right, stop. Don't do that. Right, stop. Leave that alone. Put that down. Don't put your hand over there. That's what you get right here. Rogersville, Kingsport, New York. Just won't leave well enough alone. Got to keep doing stuff, staying in stuff. That's what you have right here. Just some wayward ass, grown, 40-year-old, 50 plus, 60-year-old heathens that just love mischief, love staying in the stuff, love keeping stuff going. And it's just like, okay, when you gonna say to yourself, well, all my children are gone, I'm gonna try to do something with myself. And maybe that's what she's telling herself. Well, I done knocked off this kid. I ain't fight to get my boys back. So I'm gonna play this role like I'm in the church and I'm giving my life to Christ. And Jesus has forgiven the murderer, from my understanding, on the cross. So I can't tell Jesus he can't forgive her because, as they say, he forgave me. So he has every right to forgive her. And he tells me I'm supposed to forgive her, like she's supposed to forgive me. But I'm sorry, murdering a baby to me is not the damn same. I'm sorry. And that's between me and God, my God. He could tell me, Angela, well, I forgave you. You should forgive Candace if she killed her kid. Okay. Well, call me on Saturday and check back with me and let me see if I change my mind. Gypsy Rose, here we go. I'm putting this in the live too. A lot of people are feeling a certain way about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. For those of you who are following the content, she has been newly released from prison after doing 8.5 years. There's a lot of negativity behind her part. You can believe that she has Stockholm Syndrome. Don't know if she's been diagnosed with that. You can weigh it a multitude of ways. Some of you believe she should have escaped, left, called somebody. Where I have the problem is this. There are two versions running around, and I've got to go back and re-listen again to hear her say it or not say it. First, the version, kind of like this Wales drama, you left and went and met the guy at the comic convention. The other version, wait a minute, you went and met the guy at the comic convention, your mother came and got you and took you back and tied you up, so on and so forth. The second version, she went to the convention, met the guy, and she left, went home, mother's angry, ties her up, so on and so forth. Gypsy Rose, I'm going to try to re-listen, but I could have sworn you did say she came and got you. So then I asked that question the other day. I said, well, how would she know where she went? Did she check her computer? Did she check her phone? Did she look through her devices and saw there was this convention and said, oh, that must be where she is. Let me go chase her down. And then if I think of a comic convention or whatever it was, depending on the size of the place or where they had the venue, how would you know where to find her? Hell, even in a wheelchair, it still will be a lot of people walking about, especially if it's at a convention center. So that's what I have to question. Where did it take place? How big was the venue? Is she telling the truth that the mother came and got her, or she went home? Because this is where the Stockholm Syndrome is going to play heavy. If you left went back on your own, people are going to say, well, you should have never returned. Number two, you left, mommy found you, drug you out of there, rolled you out, however, you feared for your, you feared for your safety, and then down the road, you concocted this murder with this Nick person. Which is it? Patricia uses. I watched this girl's channel last night, and she had some good commentary, good questions on her network. And she played your interview that you did. And you basically are downplaying your role in the murder of your mother. That is what you're doing. You saying, yeah, I asked him to do it, but he did it. I've done my time. He's got to do his time. That's basically the connotation, the message you have sent out. And you have said that in other commentary. Well, that's not sitting well with some people. And I have been going back and forth on my feelings pertaining to Gypsy Rose. One black girl on her network, she's doing her makeup, putting her makeup on, spinning a story about Gypsy Rose. And she's saying you can go back to prison. Now, I don't know how true that could be, because the parole board has already sent you on your way. The only way I can see you going back to prison is if you commit another crime, of course, you violate parole. And that's you not following the instructions of the parole. And I don't know what restrictions they have on her. So I'm not here to say, what the guidelines are for her. But this girl was basically saying, well, you are downplaying your role. And that's what got released in the first place, is that you took acknowledgement that you played a part and you're remorseful. So I get what that girl was trying to say. But the point is, they've already released her. So could the parole board call back? Hey, ding, 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 ding. Yes, Gypsy Rose. Mm-hmm. Well, we heard this interview you did, and you don't seem like you have any remorse for helping or soliciting someone to unalive your mother. Okay, I did say that. I didn't do it. Well, you just sat in this parole hearing and you acted remorseful. You acknowledged what you did was wrong and we let you go. Okay, but I'm free now and yes, she's done her time, but I don't think she needs to be famous for it. And that's the other problem. Some people, because everybody's up and down on this. Some people feel like he should get a fair shake to get out at some point. You're entitled to your opinion. Some people feel like he has a mental disease. He's autistic or borderline autistic. I don't know. You have her or his mother, because I have no idea. Naturally, the mother, when you watch her interrogation, she speaks highly of her son. He never got in any trouble. This is what she's telling the detective, because she was kind of, shocked, like, what am I doing here? She's like, my son ain't never got in no trouble. My son, he would never get involved in nothing like this. And basically the mother says at the end of the conversation, like, she feels like Gypsy Rose is evil. Like, this girl that looped my son into this mess. So everything depends on your interpretation. She solicited him. She had a chance to escape. She's given us information that she did escape the house at one point. She either got drugged back or she went back. Her version. Don't know what's the truth. Never told anybody except for the Nick guy. Okay? So somebody said, well, if you could tell him, you could reach out to him, date site, Christian date site. Why didn't you reach out to somebody else? Why didn't you try to call your father? Why didn't you go try to call somebody else? Why didn't you try to call 911? And that's a very good point. Because at some point, we already know now that she's had access to social media, Wi-Fi. So she's had an opportunity to try to message somebody through Messenger or by phone that she was in dire straits. That's already proven because of the relationship with Nick. We also learned that she gave a printout of text messages and things between she and Nick to the neighbor friend, which I don't understand why she would do that. Very childlike in nature, of course. Why are you giving him spreadsheets of your conversations? That was stupid. So basically, you're telling on yourself if you're talking about killing the lady. The planning of it, rather. I'm up and down right now with her. I need verification that Dee Blanchard found her at that comic convention and made her leave. That would go to Stockholm Syndrome. I left. I wanted freedom, but my mother found me. I feared for my safety. I went back. Number 2. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Virgo. Number 2. Shot her mother with a BB gun. So when you say, I couldn't have unalived my mother because I didn't have it in me, I'm afraid of blood. If you shot her with a gun, BB weapon, what did you think was going to happen if it was an actual weapon? Gypsy Rose. So you tell this person in the interview, you're afraid of blood, but yet you would pick up this weapon that could cause a serious injury. And then you would see the after effects of harming your mother. So I don't understand that. I think what we're seeing here is a woman who has been grossly manipulated, grossly groomed to be ill herself. And as we have learned with grooming, be it manipulation, lying, making a child lie, touching inappropriately, it sets off a bad situation that could end up pushing the person to be just like the person who's been abusing them. And that may be what we have here. We have a woman who has been groomed to manipulate and lie. I felt bad for her. I still feel bad. Let me say present. I feel bad for, as the profiler would say, the younger her. She says younger. I feel bad for the younger Gypsy Rose, who I'm not feeling at the moment is this newer version, grown-up version, who I think is maybe playing to the masses, not being truthful in her role in hiring that guy. And yes, she's right. She did not do anything allegedly. He did all the work. She stayed in another room, bathroom, shaving herself to have relations with him. But there's something the young lady said on her channel last night that really got my mind wandering. Nick Godejohn said the mother 4 times. The detective said, "Are you sure?" Then he says, "Yeah. Oh, if you count the wound on the neck, that'll make 5. So 5 times he's punctured the mother. But the autopsy says 17 wounds to the body. Do you all see where I'm getting ready to go with this? 17 wounds. What if Nick Godejohn lied to the state that he was the sole proprietor of unaliving Dee Dee Blanchard? What if Gypsy Rose stepped in the room and participated and or finished off her mother? Because there's something they showed in the crime scene photos. Please go to my community board to look at the crime scene photos if you want to. I found it interesting that there's a close-up picture of her shoes. Raggedy looking tennis shoes at that for a girl child. That was something I thought about. She's a grown woman and the shoes were horrible looking. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but they were. And I said, here's a woman who's getting all this money and doting on the daughter, and the daughter's childlike and don't even know how old she is actually. And then they showed the crime scene shoes, they showed all the evidence. Her shoes were like run over. I was kind of stunned because I was like, I cannot believe her shoes look this terrible. Little bitty speck of blood. Virgo, your comment was held by review. I'm going to show it. Oh, okay. So, Because when you go live through the YouTube app, the YouTube does its own moderating. So was that blood on the shoe, her shoe? Number one. Number two, did forensics test her shoes, clothes, socks? Because they went on the run, of course, went to Wisconsin. First went to a hotel, went to Wisconsin. Naturally, I don't see her having on the same brassiere underclothes. I don't know. So that's something I'm curious about. Did they test those shoes? Did it come back blood? Was it enough to test? Did she clean her shoes? Or that wasn't blood on the shoe? I just found it funny that shoe is in the evidentiary material, evidence. And when you look at the shoe, you see like a little tiny red speck that looks like blood. So that's my question for Gypsy Rose. Gypsy Rose, were you in that room with Nick Godejohn? Nick Godejohn has a new a legal team, and they're trying to get an appeal for him for a new trial. Do you all feel like he is deserving of a new trial? Do you feel like he should get a new trial? Number one. Should he stay in prison for life without the possibility of parole? Should he get just a longer sentence? 20 years, 30 years, 40, 15? Because we have seen people commit crimes out here. We've seen people who have abused the corpse, discarded the corpse, people who came in afterwards to help people discard a corpse, and they don't get no more than 15 years, 7 to 15 years. I just watched a true crime story last night where this guy gets beat up, and these guys drag him in the water. They dump him in the river or whatever. Long story short, one had a wreck, his car ran out of control, flipped into the water, and he died submerged in 9 inches of water. How about that? That's suspect number one. Then there was another suspect who got, I think, a little bit of time, and then the main one, he didn't get but like 8 years, 7 to 8 years. 3 guys beat this guy up over a girl one night. They're all hanging with each other. Some words were exchanged. They chase him, drag him, beat him up, throw him in a truck, dump him in the water. Don't know if he was exactly deceased when he hit the water, but maybe to them they thought he was deceased. Anyway, they dump him, leave him there. Then he's found. Investigation took many years to get everybody to tell the truth. 2 other girls were there. One of the girls that they were arguing over, she tried to downplay her role, but she saw everything and witnessed everything. She got a few years in prison too. That's the point of this story. Then here you have all these people involved in beating up somebody and dumping them in the river. Everybody held the secret until somebody, opened the case again to, reinvestigate. And everybody in the story then got under 10 years of penitentiary time on a deliberate unalive of a human. So one could say, well, why is he doing life without parole when these other people are getting 7, 8 years for second-degree murder? And really, it's not even second degree if you deliberately beat the person and keep beating them until they're no longer breathing. I don't understand how that's second degree. That, to me, seems like first degree. I have put up polls pertaining to Gypsy Rose and Nick Godejohn. As I said, I am just up and down about both of them. But I think the more she talks, the worse it gets. So right now you will see a lot of videos in the queue of people saying that America has turned on her, that they do not believe she needs this fame status. She should not be known as a public figure. She played a role in the demise of her mother. This boy needs a second chance at life. Some people say that. And she is not owning her part. And that she also had the opportunity to leave the house, but chose not to. You're entitled to your opinion. Because I tried to have sympathy because of what her mother did to her. Her mother was horrible. The girl didn't know how old she was at the time of being arrested. Mother shaving her hair, and she's a grown woman. Mother shaving her pubic area, and she's grown. Taking baths with her as a grown woman. She's thinking this is normal. So when I look at all that, that's when I teeter on her mental state and her educational level. It is said that she only had a first grade education when she entered into prison. But then when I hear her talk now, years later, it seems like she's not owning her part. She's just saying, well, I did my 8.5 years. But then we have to think, well, it seemed like you enjoyed the 8.5 years because you didn't know anything else. Sorry, I don't know why this light keeps blinking on with this phone. I think it's this cord. She seemed to enjoy being in prison because she didn't have no life. She didn't have a life with Dee Dee. So going to prison was her outlet, was her freedom, newfound freedom. Never had friends, never had, boyfriends, never went anywhere, never did things that kids do in school, high school, whatever. She didn't have any of that. So finally getting away from Dee Dee, that led me to believe that you were glad to be away from your mother. So the other flip side is, oh, my mother's not a monster. She had demons. That's another thing she has said. But yet when you do the documentary, you act like you were glad to be in prison. You were glad to make friends. You said you went up to people asking them to be your friend, which is weird to some people. Because you don't go up to inmates and say, hey, you want to be my friend? But you had a childlike mentality. So see, it's like, how do you weigh this Gypsy Rose person that you're seeing today? Does she have remorse for her role she played in unaliving her mother? Was she remorseful? Or is she putting on for dramatization purposes? I don't know. Hello, everybody. Hello, sweetheart. Hello, Miss Dixon. Good to see you. It's a slippery slope with Gypsy Rose. Because one thing I have learned about people, that the more they talk, the more they reveal themselves. And I got a feeling that is what is happening here. She's telling you all these things about the mother. She wants to be an advocate for Munchausen by proxy. She's done her time. She prays for him, wishes him well on his journey. But what journey is it? He's locked up. He's not getting out of there. And when you go back in time and look at how he looked in the trial, he looks like a fish out of water. He looks like he's just, I'm here, don't know where I'm going, what I'm doing. And that's that. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Gotta pick up something. I think I put something in my, yeah, something I don't want frozen. Hold on. Okay. I'm in the kitchen. Hello, everybody. So those are my 2 topics for today. The Gypsy Rose that has come out of prison, does she have remorse for finding this young man and leading him into the abyss? Flip side of that. So you can flip it because it's 2 sides of the coin. He's either autistic, something's mentally wrong with him, he knew right from wrong. What's the truth? He gave all the information during interrogation. He seemed like he was ecstatic to harm the lady. He also mentioned sexual assault, which is very vulgar, which will lead some people to think, hey, there's nothing wrong with him. He's not autistic. He knows right from wrong. I played you information from Pat Brown. She's a profiler. Her assertion of Nick Godejohn is that he is a psychopath and that he is no different than Dee Dee Blanchard, and that the fact that he wanted to sexually assault the mother shows he is no different than the mother. I don't agree with the comment that he made naturally about doing that. He wanted to, the mother. But is he a psychopath? Is he like Dee Dee Blanchard? She says he abused her. That's another thing Gypsy has said. I don't know if I agree with that, because I don't think they spent that much time together for me to say he used her, he abused her. Now, this is the profiler's assertion. He's a psychopath. He enjoyed, meeting with her. He already had the propensity to unalive a human, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I agree with that. And naturally, doctors will disagree. I don't know what doctors asserted what with him. That's the new thing about the appeal. The new attorneys are saying, well, they didn't fight for his mental capability at the time of the crime. They didn't use the factor he's mentally disabled, that he is autistic and he didn't know what he was doing or whatever. You entitled to believe what you want. I don't know what to think at this point. Naturally, they both knew what they were doing to some degree or all of the degree. Where I have the problem is the law. So many people are out here walking around with plea agreements, crimes that went on for years and nobody knew who did it. Evidence leads to these people 10, 15, 30 years later. They get a slap on the wrist for second degree or manslaughter. And they don't do that much time. I think the only reason why Nick Godejohn has this much time is because of the wounds were extensive. That's what I think. Some of us believe she would have gotten off for self-defense had she done it herself. So you have to decide who was mentally disabled at the time of the crime. Did they know right from wrong? Did she have remorse at the time or now? She claims her mother is not a monster. But then that is contradictory to you running off, shooting her with a BB gun, and then finding this guy to unalive her. So it's contradictory. And I don't think she realizes that. She doesn't realize that her statements are contradictory. You found somebody to get rid of your mother. And now, years later, you're acting like, well, she was just ill. She had Munchausen by proxy. She wasn't a monster. She had demons. I love my mother. That's another thing she has said. Do you believe she actually loves her mother today? Dixon, behave. How did she get there in the wheelchair? Patricia, good question, because somebody else in the chat asked me that last week. I'm assuming so. because she wouldn't want to be seen walking out her house, because how could she walk out the house on foot? Anybody could see her. The neighbors could be like, what is that girl doing walking? She can't walk. I thought she couldn't walk. So she had to roll out in a wheelchair, I'm assuming. So that's a very good question. I don't know. I've not heard how she got out. That's why I said I need to watch all of the documentary from Lifetime, and then I need to compare it to what she has said for these Lifetime press releases versus the ebook versus this other podcast called Vows something. She said, hell no. I'm just on the fence with this person, this Gypsy Rose person. Because I've been thinking about what people have been saying about her. And there's a lot that is contradictory. I love my mother. She wasn't a monster. But yet you tried to unalive her with a weapon that you thought was real. But then now you say, oh, I don't like blood, so I never could have done it. That's why I got him to do it. But that's contradictory to picking up a you-know-what that you thought was real. And then the mother had to go to the hospital because she did have wounds, and she lied and said she was robbed. So she didn't tell the police or the hospital, oh, by the way, my daughter did this to me. Because they were going to probably ask, why is this sick child trying to unalive their mother? There's a lot that we're not going to know the truth. It will be up to Gypsy Rose to tell the whole truth of what went on in that house. And by no means am I saying that Dee Dee didn't abuse her. I'm not saying that the grandfather didn't essay her. What I'm saying is, I think what she's trying to spin now is her attempt to deflect her part. Because as some people have said, and I agree, she probably would have never gotten time had she done the deed herself. I think somebody would have came in the house, seen how they were living, seen that something wasn't right, seen that this was an adult, not a child, put two and two together, gathered the records they have, the medical records, and put two and two together. I'm still on the fence about the father. When did they contact him? Because she says he wanted to call and wish her a happy 18th birthday. Well, how can he do that unless he had the telephone number? So Dee Dee tells him, well, you can't wish her a birthday because she don't know she's 18. This makes no sense to me. So wouldn't the father say, well, what do you mean she don't know that she's 18? Oh, she thinks she's younger. Wouldn't the father say, well, I don't understand what you're saying. Where would she get the notion that she's younger than 18? Oh, me, mommy, I've been lying to her. And then wouldn't the father say, well, why would you be lying to our child about her age? See, this makes no sense to me. When did this conversation take place? When? Why didn't the father follow up? Okay, I need to get over here and see about my child. Something ain't right about this conversation. So this is what I'm saying. How did they talk? On the phone? Who called whom? How long did he have the phone number that imaginary? He didn't know nothing about his child. He couldn't reach his child, remember? I didn't know where she was. She kept her from me. But yet, there's this conversation allegedly that you've talked to her. You've talked to Dee Dee on the 18th birthday of Gypsy, and she didn't want you talking to her because she didn't know she was 18. This is crazy to me. Was he getting some cash too? What do you mean, Janet? Wait, you said the father was sending child support for her every week. She said that's the money she took with her. Okay, yeah, they had some money in a bag. And on the bag, you need to go to my community board so you can see the evidence. because the money in the bag is in the evidence roundup. It says, what did it say on that bag? It said something about, God, what is it? I can't remember what something was written on the bag in magic marker. Like, I can't remember. You have to go check on my page. You need to go watch the video of the evidence, and you can see all the evidence that the detectives in the case. But somebody wrote something on that, the bag that had the money. And I don't know if it said miscellaneous, or I don't know if Gypsy Rose wrote that or the mother wrote that. It's just, I don't know. It's so bizarre. It's very, very bizarre. Like he wasn't very involved in her life. Well, Pinto, that's where you have to decide what you believe. Kind of like all this mess we've been talking about pertaining to Kingsport, Rogersville, and New York. I say this all the time in my live stream because it's the truth. You don't know no more than what a person tells you. Okay? You only know the version that he or she has spun, number one. You only know what has been corroborated. And that's life. It's no different than me telling you I went out today and went to the store. You either believe me or you don't. You don't know if I went or not. Do you understand what I'm saying? So everything's a version. True crime, it's the same thing. You either believe what the people are telling you or you don't. That is the detective's job to say, well, we're going to go out here to corroborate you went to the store. We're going to corroborate what you did yesterday. We're going to go in your devices and see what you've been looking at, who you've been talking to, who's phoned you, you phoned in, so on and so forth. I'm not here to say that the father was uninvolved in her life, because she did move around, and Gypsy Rose told that, and I'm going to think that part of the story is true. She moved around for probably 1,000 different reasons. Don't want these people onto her because she's got this scam going on using her kid. Allegedly, she left Louisiana to go to Missouri. Okay? My understanding, she went a year before Katrina, if I'm not mistaken. I'll stand corrected if that's not right. But the information I saw recently, I think they said she went in 04 or something. Katrina didn't happen to 05. So how are you going to say, I don't got no records of my baby? The storm hadn't happened yet. So how was she living before she started using the Katrina ruse? Was it because she couldn't pay her rent? She wasn't working, or did she draw a check at first? See, I don't know all those details. I just know what the girl has said. We moved around a lot. I've been trying to figure that out, why we moved around so much. So when you go back to my live stream with the profiler giving her information, she feels that Dee Dee was already mentally ill. She was a psychopath a long time ago. Nobody saw the signs, perhaps. Nobody knew that this lady was a psycho. She doesn't believe that Gypsy Rose's father has anything to do with why she did that, because she feels like it was already in her. And it starts at childhood, that somebody abused her, mistreated her, and this thing formed in her, this demon rather. She didn't show the signs of a psychopath to possibly later that would be visible to the eye. But she said even if she had stayed with the father, that she still would have done what she did to Gypsy. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. I don't think it's okay for her to make a profit off a crime she played, her mother's murder, while the other mentally disabled perpetrator sits in jail. Well, you know what? That's an interesting comment. That's an interesting comment, because we've heard with serial killers, no payment. They're locked up. They're not getting out. They don't receive any monies from documentaries, movies, for the obvious reason, because they're victims who are no longer alive. So that makes sense. So in this case, how do you weigh that when the perpetrator was a monster, possible psychopath, sociopath, however you want to word it. I'm not a doctor. And Gypsy was a victim who then turned on the perpetrator, not physically, allegedly, but by conspiring and finding somebody to do the job for her. It all, I guess, depends on your interpretation of her role. And should she get money from documentaries? See, the flip side is going to be she was a victim. She is a victim. She was brutalized by her mother. That's not made up. That's not gossip. The lady used her child to grift, to grind, to scam people. That she did that. The problem is, do you believe this girl had enough sense to know right from wrong in conspiring, shooting the mother with a BB gun, and then hiring Nick Godejohn? That's where the problem comes in. Victim up until 24 turned co-conspirator. Should she get money for the role she played when she could have left? Or flip side, she's a victim of Stockholm syndrome. See, it's all about your interpretation, your own background. That's usually how most of us make our decisions on, certain situations. It's a tricky one. How many times do we hear those who are victims, who become victimizers? And that's a valid point, Janet. That's the point of all these stories that you're hearing. That usually the victim becomes the sadist. And she has the propensity to be the sadist because while she was being abused, she had already tried to unalive the mother. She did not pass away. Later, she finds this guy. They get into cahoots, and one thing begat another. She's now free. He's still incarcerated. Got attorneys to try to get an appeal. We will see what happens. I'll bring you an update on that because I do want to make a video about his appeal. Is it fair to him? Should he be solely locked up? Because there are states, depending on the laws, that the co-conspirator can get just as much time as the perpetrator. So there are states who will give, let's say, the perpetrator 40 years, 50 years for unaliving a person. In that same state, the co-conspirator goes before 12 members of the jury, and they are offered the same sentence. She did not. She didn't get the same sentence. And I think the only reason why she didn't get the same sentence is because she was abused. Had this been just somebody saying, I want to knock off my husband for insurance money, and they went and hired Pookie or Ray Ray or the plumber, you understand what I'm saying, to knock off their husband, yeah, people probably say, yeah, I'm going to give you the same sentence as we gave the guy you hired, because you didn't have no reason to, try to knock off your husband. It worked, it didn't work, the relationship didn't work, whatever your motive reason was, we're not going to let you go walk free and let this guy sit up here and do all this time in prison, and you get to walk free just because you didn't do anything. You didn't actually, put your hands on that person. I think that's the only reason why she got such a reduced sentence. It's because she was an abuse victim. She is an abuse victim. But flip side is, she probably could have got off had she done it herself. Because they could have said, oh, she was in the heat of the moment. Dee Dee was talking crazy, doing something, tying her up, beating her, and she just flipped out. She probably wouldn't have done a day. She probably wouldn't have done one day, and she wouldn't even been indicted, rather. She said she knew it was wrong because she lied in her interrogation. Hey, honey. Hi, Tracy. How you doing? Right, she should get a job. She just said that she got an offer to be a stripper. What? At a strip club. Myra, where you hear that? Perhaps Gypsy thought that was the only way and was pretending she didn't know what happened. He told the truth because he doesn't know any defense. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He was too honest in the interrogation. Most criminals don't do that. That's why I said they both had the capacity of children. They knew what they were doing was wrong, of course, but they still had the capacity of a child because of the things that they did. Who unalives a person and then goes to Facebook and put it on a Facebook post? The bee is dead. You don't do that. Who puts the weapon in an envelope and mail it back to your house? Now, some will say, well, that shows they knew better. He put the weapon in the envelope. I get all of that. It's still strange. It's just strange to me. I hadn't heard that, Miss Dixon. I had not heard that. Summer Wells is the only crime I have followed. True crime is above my head in most cases. Okay. She was bright. What'd you say? She was bright and him not so much. She was bright. Yeah, I agree. And we have heard many people say that about her now. She's very articulate. She speaks well. She uses really good vocabulary. So she probably was learning all those things while being groomed by Dee Dee. Then once she went to prison, she probably read a lot of books and listened to a lot of conversations. So she was just educating herself. She did get a GED. I don't know, what year she got the GED, but she still speaks very well for somebody who went into prison as a first grade level human being. That's what was said about her. We also get information that she didn't make it to the third grade. So now let's weigh that. Only finished the second grade, but walked into prison as a first grader. Versus who you're seeing and hearing now, she's using a lot of fancy terminology and wordings. So she's learned quite a bit since being incarcerated. Queen made a great point about the number of wounds, 17, but he said it was 5. That's thrown me for a loop. Well, that's what this girl was saying on her YouTube channel last night. I was up late. I was really sleepy, but I was kind of, going in and out. And I don't know her name, the YouTuber, but she's got a nice little setup, talking about the case, how people are turning on her because of how she's acting and talking. Basically, she's downplaying her role. That's what she mentioned. So she played the interrogation during her live stream, and he says it. The detective asked, well, how many times you said? 4. She said, are you sure? He said, yes. He said, oh, not counting the mark back here. She said, so that you mean 5. So he said, yeah, so 5. So about 5. So we've gone from 5 to 17. That's a big discrepancy. What will be interesting is if we find out Gypsy Rose was in the room with Nick Godejohn, and she helped participate in the crime. And that possible that could come out if he gets a new trial. He wants freedom. If he gets a good public defender or a private defense attorney to grill him and say, hey, tell us the truth about who was in that room with you. Were you in that room alone? Or did you have Gypsy Rose in there with you? She helped participate and or finish the lady off. What will be devastating for her, he tells us she was in there with me. I just took the blame because I didn't want her to go to prison. I don't know. I don't know. Autistic folks have a hard time lying. In my experience with homeschooling, okay, wasn't she offered the stripper job pretty much when she stepped out of jail? You know what? Now that I jog my memory back, I could have sworn I thought I heard something about that just in her passing conversation. So I can't wait to read your community post so I can better understand Gypsy's case. Okay. Well, watch the video. I should have it uploaded on my community page about the evidence. It's somebody else's YouTube channel, but they've got the pictures of the evidence taken from the house and all the evidence from Nick Godejohn's house. They show you his room. He was a bit messy. They show you the house where she lived with her mother. It was messy. Everybody seemed to have the same like mind, in my opinion. They all seem to have the same like mind. So I don't know. My problem with her right now is I feel like she's downplaying her role. She's just basically saying, I did my time. Okay, that's it. I've done my time. Wish him well. Oh, well, I'm done. I'm out. I'm free. Some people have a problem with that, and that's why a lot of people are talking right now. I think a lot of people also have a problem with the fact that she came straight out to doing news interviews and doing the Lifetime premiere, taking the pictures and the photographs with the husband. She's always talking. She's always streaming on the live from the IG. I think a lot of people have problems with that. She's done an interview with her husband on somebody else's network, the production company or whatever that was working with the documentary. I watched that the other day. It's too much in your face. And like I said, I'm not here to say that the mother did not abuse her. That's not what I'm saying. I just think she should have waited a while before doing all of this press stuff, red carpet events, live streaming on this person's channel, and then going over here doing these podcast interviews and The View, and then this news entity. It's too much too soon. That's my take on it. And then I think she's downplaying her role as in soliciting this guy, because that's how she said it. I did my time. I didn't do it. He did it. Oh, well, what did you tell the parole board? Because I know you could have said it that way. I conspired with him, but he did it. I didn't do it. He didn't have to do it. So I think we already know that's not how she talked to those parole people. I think she went in there. She was humble, whether she was lying or not. She was humble. Yes, I take full responsibility for my role. I've learned a lot by being here. I feel bad for what happened. I wish I had not done that. I wish I had taken another way. I wish I had contacted somebody and told them what my mother was doing to me. I bet she said all of that to the parole board, and that's why she's free. Now, mind you, one of her fans went back and called the prison to say she was trying to break out. But I don't believe she would have done that before trying to be paroled. That would be crazy. To, know you're going up for parole and then try to escape. That's crazy. But see, this is what happens when you open a fan base up to the public, such as the IG page, and you let people be able to comment, such as all this mess you're seeing, like with YouTube. You open your chat, you open your Facebook page, you open your IG, you let the people come in and comment, where you're going to get all type of crazy comments. And naturally, she's going to see things she doesn't like. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Why have an open IG page straight out of prison? You say you don't care about what people say, but yet New Year's Eve you were down because you didn't like the comments that people were saying about Ryan. That makes no sense. But you have an open IG page. You could have a private IG page. Only accept the people that you know or that you think you know. We also hear that a few famous people have reached out to her. Who did she say reached out to her? A Miss Lambert or somebody's reached out to her. I thought, oh, Lord mercy. It is what it is. She wrote a book. Wow. Yes, the ebook. Yes, it's out. Free, married, and making lots of money. Somebody in the YouTube queue had a short up that I saw before going live, and they're estimating her net worth right now at $3 million. I don't know if that's true or not. I think she has downplayed the role to play on Sympathy. It brings in money. She learned that from her mother, acting and manipulation, in my opinion. Okay. Yeah. Somebody in the YouTube queue has a short up, and it says her net worth is at $3 million. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just what somebody put up. So I'm not really sure. Thank you for the likes. Amen. Thank you so much. But yes, I jumped on here. I was going to stream from the grocery store. I was going to sit in the little cafe area, but I was rushing and pressed for time, so I said I'll just go live when I get back. But this live stream is a 2-part live. I know most people really just want to hear about Summer Wells, but as I said, I talk about other things during my lives, of course, because I can't always talk about Summer Wells. But before I check out of here, I was being a little humorous at the beginning of the live stream. I did put up a post pertaining to sending our little grifting friend in New York some potato chips. Since he likes asking people for money, he likes asking for change on his channel. So I was saying, if you all could cash at me some money, I'll send these to Groversville, New York. Hello? I wanted to send these to New York. You can cash at me. $Big Angie 129 Cash App. I know that mail is running late and behind, so I don't know if he's going to get these potato chips. Now, they're not Doritos because I was budgeting. But chips are chips. Does it matter? Of course not. Since everybody is scamming, they're all scammers. Everybody's a scammer. They're all scammers. They're all grifters on YouTube. Well, cash at me so I can send these potato chips to New York. I've got juice. I've got Sprite. So cash at me. Now, I can't show you any receipts. That I put these potato chips in the mail. It's ice outside. I don't know if mail is running. I didn't make it to the mailbox. I made it barely around the corner and got to the store. I flew on a helicopter. So, Pussyfoot, do you want these potato chips and Sprite? I will send them in the mail. I don't have your address. I'm asking for Cash App donations so I can send the potato chips. Since everybody is a scammer on YouTube, well, I figure I would get some money to send these potato chips. What messages? YouTube loves taking to people. Okay. Somebody's got their message. Oh, it must be a bad comment because YouTube won't even let me open the message. Oh, well. So, they're all scammers. They're all scammers. Everybody's a scammer. You're a liar. You are a liar. The nonsense that go on up here, it's ridiculous. I'll bring you more content pertaining to Gypsy Rose. As I said, I'm on the fence with her live commentary as of late. I don't know what's going on with her. I think she's making up a lot of things that she feels inside. Okay? I don't feel like she cares about Nick Godejohn. I think she used him to help get rid of her mother. Excuse me, I do believe that. I don't believe she has any remorse for him being in there. I do think he has something wrong with him. As far as his mental capability and her capability at that time to know right from wrong, I haven't gotten any assessment from psychologists to say either way. But I do believe at some point they had to have known it was wrong. But like I said, I don't have any diagnosis to go on from there. And it was too soon to come out, to talk to the media, to do press tours, so on, so forth. From my understanding, the parole board is basically letting her know, parole officer, you've got to get yourself together. Job, yes, she does need to get a job. And that's another thing I meant to say. She basically said she didn't want to work. I could have sworn I heard that the other day. What do you mean you don't want to work? Everybody else that's on parole and probation, they have to work. They have to check in. They have to show that they work. They have to come in once a month, those who are on probation. Now, parole, I don't know if that's weekly or what, but my thing is the rules are the same for you, honey. So right there, I have a problem with her on that. She don't want to get a job. What do you mean? Yeah, you need to get a job. Because I understand she can't do any extensive traveling. I'm also wondering how he's going to be able to keep a job traveling with her on press things. Then you got to factor in the parole situation. Maybe they don't want her traveling anywhere. They were nice to let her do it because she got out like right around Christmas, the 28th. But, sir, you gotta teach kids. And school's back in session. If it's not, because of this weather situation. So you're not going to be able to fly around with her. School doesn't get out until May or June. And I'm wondering how that's going to fare as well. The school board, school system, allowing him to continue teaching. Because what you have to think about is his mental stability. Is this somebody you really want working with your children? Because he seems childlike too. Two people wanting to go see, this animated play they went to go see. I'm all for people liking what they like, games, Harry Potter, but you all are grown. And the fact that she wanted to go see Harry Potter first thing on Broadway in New York, that's strange to me. But I also had to say she still acts like a child because she still has a childlike mind, has a childlike demeanor, and possibly he does too. And that's why he gravitated towards her. Is he using her, grifting her for attention? Maybe he didn't get a lot of attention. Was he dating other women? Did he have girlfriends? You have to ask all those questions. We're going to do a video separate about him. I'll possibly do one about Mr. Ryan tomorrow. So stay tuned because I don't want to get into all my surprises of how I feel about him. We'll do a video about him tomorrow, Mr. Ryan. And we'll also talk about Godejohn. Maybe I'll do them both in the same live since they're in the same demographic. Candace Bly, before I check out of here. As I posted to my community board before going live, she has put up a post that she will be at a church in February and they will be holding a birthday celebration for Summer Wells. And I came on live tonight to tell you I'm not with that. I feel like it's hocus pocus. I feel like she's using this child once again to get attention, sympathy from others. I pray that nobody goes up to this church and films people going in and out of the church on this celebration. I feel like it's a recipe for disaster. I cannot see how a church would not have heard about all the things that have played out on the news and YouTube. So I'm curious to this church. It is a Baptist church, Queens Baptist. So I'm going to root for Baptist or whomever. The Lord's house is the Lord's house. Where I have a problem is why should the celebration be in the church? That's where I have a problem. I feel like you could have this baby celebration anywhere. You could go to the park. You could go rent a room in a Holiday Inn and put up some streamers and a cake for somewhere else. Why do you need to be in this church? I have a problem with that. And I feel like she's doing this for sympathy. She's doing this for attention. She's probably needing help, funds, like everybody else, since everybody's a scammer. It's all for show. Let me see who else I can bring in the fold, wind them up like a doll, have these people feel sorry for me, and then here comes, donations, food, whatever, attention. Hey, come to our church. We welcome everybody. God loves all his children. Yes, he does. Come as you are. That's what you're supposed to do. Allow people to come in. Hoodies, blue jeans, khakis. But are you sincere? That's my problem. Is she sincere? And with the fact that some of us believe she's hurt her child, discarded her child, other theories of where the child is, I just can't understand a church wanting to be involved with the Wells. That's baffling to me. And I know you're not supposed to turn people away that want to go to church, but I personally, if I know of shenanigans with you in the street, social media, I would have a talk with you once I realized who you were in my church. Because I would let you know. I don't want any problems here. These people are coming here to hear the word, to get the word, and take the word back out of here. Now, what they do on their free time, I can't say. But what I'm not going to do is let you bring foolishness into my church. And a pastor has every right to tell you that. They have every right. You out here doing stuff, fighting, feuding, defrauding, staying in the mischief. The pastor has every right to come to you and have a chit chat with you. He knows how to talk to you without sounding judgmental. He has every right. Because his job is to guide you, lead you to the water. And what he or she doesn't want is for you to be coming in that church and bringing problems to the church. Do you understand? Because this isn't your typical situation of somebody wanting to go to the Lord's house and get the word. She is on social media, her and her husband. They also have a missing child. Some people believe they are involved in the child's disappearance. So this is not your typical situation of, Bobby the drunk that goes and gets turned up through the week and then sits in church on Sunday. It's not the same. Will he be judged in church? Of course, Bobby the drunk. But a whole child missing and it playing out on YouTube, social media, that ain't the same as Bobby the drunk. I'm sorry. It's not. And I would hate to look up, February rolls around, they have this birthday honor for the child, and before the next day rolls, we hear some crazy stuff happen at the church. That's my fear. My fear is that somebody will go bother these people, start stalking these people, start going into church pretending to be a parishioner, start gossiping up in the church. That's my fear. And Candace, you should know better. You should not want to bring your drama to the church. You may honestly feel like you have a right to go to church. You have a right to serve the Lord. Yes, you do. But you're not the average Joe Blow going to church. That's the problem. You have people that like to follow you around and you talk too much. That's why I know you're doing this for attention. Why are you putting this on Facebook, YouTube, or whatever, where the church is and what time the celebration is going to be? You want me to believe that you're being genuine. Come on out and celebrate Summer's birthday. I'm supposed to believe that? You want me to believe you're being genuine about celebrating her birthday in a church, knowing that people will come there to film and God knows what else, and God forbid this causes a problem with the church elders and the people, the parishioners at the church. This is the message you want to send. See, this is what I'm talking about. You just don't care. You and your husband, y'all keep doing stuff for show. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's disrespectful. And there comes a point when you need to stop. But you can't, because you're just like that shit going on up there in New York. You just keep doing stuff because you're miserable as hell. And usually with misery comes guilt. You know you've done something foul. You know you've done something foul. So you have to keep appealing to the masses to get attention. Just like that trash up there in Gloversville. Just keep doing stuff until when's it going to end? You all go mess with them church people? I said what I said. Hell yeah, I'm going to put you on blast. Because this mess has got to stop. You want to meddle with Don and Candace? You want to meddle with them folks in Kingsport? You want to meddle with them people in New York? That's your choice. But don't curl your tail messing with them church folks. Because there's a fine line of bringing information to the masses. And when you decide to play on the property of the Lord's house, you've gone too damn far. And that's my public opinion. And anybody riding a donkey ride to go mess with them church folks, film over at that church, whatever comes your way, you deserve every bit of it. You deserve whatever comes your way. So we'll see what little munchkins will try to rent a car or fly an airplane down here in February to pretend they're going to church to celebrate Summer's birthday. Candace, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You just won't stop. You just keep putting on. You and your little ride-alongs playing the church music in the background. Now here come this church. I knew something wasn't right when I saw a clip or your video where it looked like you was in a church. And I thought, where is this at? And I thought to myself, oh my Lord, they done found somebody else's church to go to. And now, voila. Here we go. Well, I'm going to say this to the church. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. That's all I'm going to say to the church. You like it? I love it. And that's street slang. Y'all want to ride that ride with Candace? Go right ahead. But don't come crying later to YouTube or to the news that folks was running up there banging on the church doors and people trying to sit in the church and filming, and you asked for that because you knew what has been going on with them. And I would have had a talk with her, telling her, we want you to be welcome. We don't know what happened to your kid. Most of us, we don't want to get involved in trying to judge you, blah, blah, blah. But we have to protect the church. Because there are other people who go to the church and they're not down with YouTube. This is why I keep trying to tell people, everybody don't watch YouTube. Everybody don't watch Facebook. And they're not down with this. Like all this stuff that we're talking about right here, there's people who wouldn't even watch this type of content. Because it is foolishness. It is foolishness. And frankly, it's something that we really shouldn't even be talking about, quite frankly, joking or not. Talking about people who just don't care about themselves, and they don't care about the little girl, and they don't care about anybody missing. And when you see people show out on live streams constantly There's no way they can honestly say they care about, one, themselves, two, they care about their family, and three, they care about missing children and missing people. No, you do not, because you don't like yourself. How can you care about yourself? Care about others and you don't care about yourself. You don't show respect to yourself. So I'm supposed to believe you care about some random missing guy, some random missing lady, some random missing kid out of the holler. Well, you don't care about yourself. Because there's nothing in you to care. And when you don't care about your own child, you've used your child as a cash app ploy. You've used your child to get attention, have people stand around and pray for you like you're having a seance. You use your child to jump on channels and then cry that the people have turned on you, but you still keep talking through an iPhone and an Android. You're showing me you're complicit. You're showing me you don't care about your child. And that goes for New York, and that goes for Rogersville. You don't care because you've never cared. And you all were probably groomed to be sickos. That's why you act the way you act, see. You had a jacked up life, jacked up mama, jacked up daddy. Somebody probably abused you physically, mentally, sexually, and this is what you're putting back into the universe. The very reason why a little girl by the name of Summer Wells is missing out of the holler. The very reason why her brothers have not been returned back to that house. The very reason why there's a 17-year-old boy that appears possibly wayward out of Kingsport, Tennessee. Because nobody ever gave a fuck. Now, shall I be sending these to New York or not? Just a question. Cash App? No Cash App. You be the judge. Scam? No scam. It's all a joke. All this is a joke. I think you all know that by now. One can't talk about the other. Because what I've seen, everybody's full of you know what. Everybody's just talking in circles about absolutely nothing. In the end, these people will never change. They don't care nothing about you making videos about them. They don't care anything about you talking about them on social media. They don't care anything about you calling CPS. They don't care about you calling a church. They don't care about any of that. They don't care about you standing at the end of a driveway. They don't care about you jumping in a chat on their channel. Ain't you all done figured that out? They don't care. They want the attention, and you're giving it to them. I'm giving it to them. Because it's a hustle, remember? I want to thank you for joining me. God bless all of you. Please stay warm. If you're in a cold climate, please turn your faucets on. Let them drip. Let it be a couple of seconds in between the drip on your bath faucets, kitchen faucet. Open your cabinets at the bottom of where your sink is. Keep them open so your pipes do not freeze. It is about to be low again. I'm in this kitchen and I'm freezing right now, and I have heat on. It's that bad. It's that cold here. It was 1 degree last night. It got down to 1, and it's getting ready to do it again tomorrow. So I'm stocked for now. Amen. God is good. Was able to get out. I will talk to you all tomorrow. We will chop up some more of this commentary, and we will see what the latest gossip is on the streets. Prayers for Allie, the family. Prayers that there's a resolution to this lady. I have not gotten any updates. I've been home after I left the store. I put everything up, then I just went straight live. So, excuse me, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's been said. Once again, everything's he said, she said. And as I said, I'm not putting any more stock into anything that's being said about any of those people, because in the end, it's about a person who is possibly won't be coming to, and how much foolishness can you participate in? And that's just my take on it. There's nothing you can do about what's going on in Kingsport. You can't do anything about Rogersville. So how are you going to do anything about Kingsport, New York? You can't. It is what it is. I pray that everybody is attempting to be genuine. If they're not, then they're not. I'm not going to lose any sleep, because the story isn't about me. If you can sleep with yourself, grifting, scamming off your mother, dying mother, sister, brother, cousin, son, daughter, hey, to each his own. And that's how I look at it. Well, what can you do about it? Nothing. You can talk about it all day, make uploads, videos, lives. You can't change these people. Basically, you're just making videos for entertainment. And really, that's sad. Because we can laugh all day and crack all these jokes. These people are sad. And when you start talking about children, that's a whole different ballgame. Because each of these households have children. One household has no more children. One household has at least 2 near grown, and I think 1 underage. And then the nonsense in New York, I don't know the ages of those children. But it's pathetic. It's pathetic. So you have to pray for the children. If you don't pray for anybody else, you pray for the children. You pray for the children who don't have a say in anything. And that's the best that you can do. That's all you can do. Thank you so much for listening to the content, 2-part live pertaining to Candace Bly and Gypsy Rose. I will try to get some more information and watch some of the documentary pertaining to Gypsy Rose. I don't think it's going to matter what I listen to and if I find the ebook, because the one thing I've told you about true crime is just like any story. You don't know no more than what a person tells you. And a story is made up on a version. And maybe another version, as you see with Hollerville. It's up to you to decide what you believe and what's been corroborated. That's all you got. And I think we're going to learn that with this Gypsy Rose situation. Like I said, I'm not downing anything that happened to her. I mean, I'm not saying she's lying about anything that happened to her, but I do believe she's downplaying her role with Nick Godejohn. I believe that. I think it's just like, I'm out. I don't care. And that's sad, because I do believe the young boy thought he loved her. You're entitled to your opinion. If he's a psychopath, he's ill, autistic. And also, is she a psychopath? Thank you, Sue. Thank you. I appreciate that. Love you too, sweetheart. Is she a psychopath? Because now we have to weigh that. If we're going to keep judging and throwing rocks at everybody, the mom's a psychopath, Nick's a psychopath, says this Pat Brown. Well, then where does she fit in between the two psychopaths, Gypsy Rose? And then we jump over here to Hollerville. What are we talking about there? More psychopaths? Gloversville, New York. Psychopath, sociopath. Hell, who is sane in any of these stories? Nobody. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below this video. Take the polls. I got to think of a poll for the Gypsy Rose, something to come to me, because I've asked 1,000 questions on the community page pertaining to her. And once again, check out my post pertaining to the potato chips and the drink. You have to go back to the beginning of this live to see me with the display of the potato chips and the drink to ship it to New York. But I thought it was in all good humor and fun. Since everybody's arguing about who's a scammer or not a scammer, I thought, well, hell, I'll just put up my Cash App and I'll ask you all to send me a Cash App so I can send these to New York. Big Angie. $Big Angie. 129 Cash App. I'm going to send these to Gloversville, New York. I'll see if the Minute Maid can fit in a box and won't get smashed up. I love you guys. Thank you so much. You've been listening to the Vault XL. You all have a wonderful evening. Stay warm.